And here is Michael Weir. There is the natural stream bed, and here is where it's turned. Now this is complicated. This has been complicated because there was a washout which I'm repairing. You can see Batch Bug Bridge if you want to see more about that. Alright, but the water is diverted and now it goes down toward Joyce Falls. Here's the other bridge, Batch Bug Bridge, building a cheap but good bridge that I'm making, and I was so close to finishing, but no one was going to use it. The hunters weren't going to come here, so I thought, well, I'll let it go. Now really this whole area could probably be called Joyce Falls because the water is falling. I'm thinking some about sharpening it. If I sharpen it, what I'll do is I'll turn it back into the natural stream bed and let it fall plumb here, a drop structure, and you know, build a water wheel. But I'm just not sure. And this stone is refuse from the mining that was here. This area, all grown up with greenbrier, has been a problem spot for me for quite a while. I'm now very sure that it's the remains of some structure related to the mining. And right at this point, what's called the tram road heads down that way. And again, if you want to know more about the archaeology, well, trying to think what I called my playlist, Deserted Village, the Forgotten Village of Conemaugh or something like that. Maybe I'll give you that link. All right, now finally, here is Joyce Falls, and it used to be sharper, but from about there on, it's not falling anymore. Riffles like those are called hydraulic jumps in the terminology of irrigation engineering, but and there's still a few here. But basically they stop unless leaves are blocking it. And now this leat runs all the way past my dog, all the way to to that barn. And that's where we're headed now. There's a salamander, or I guess there's two of them, or three. I have to get away from the woods out in the field a little bit because out here the water's warmer. Eventually they'll be back there, but they come to life when the water gets a little bit warmer. Now, as I get nearer, they'll probably scurry. I'll go as near as I can. I suspect it will see some of them mating shortly. Well, I didn't see any that as far as I know they're mating or wrapped up together, but here is one of these egg sacs that I'm not a good enough biologist to say exactly what we're looking at here, but I rather think it's salamander eggs. My dog Paige just ran through the water, so she made it a little bit muddy. But it's come here all the way from back at the mountain, and basically dead level, so that if I block it up here, it'll brim the whole way back to the woods. Now this is Erica Falls, and I will drop it here about 4 feet. Well, as you can see, I've had a water wheel turn in here before to delight students that have come here, visitors. But at this point, I'm gonna bring it over to about, I don't know, not about, I can say exactly where, to here where I'm standing, and then I'll drop it. And also at this point, I'll give the option of it flowing through a head race, through a sluice, you call it also, just about into where the top of where that window is right there. And there it'll run a water wheel, at the Hockling Gasthaus. Okay, we're going to keep going downstream. That's where I was. There you can see a little bit of Erica Falls. And I'll give it the option of bringing it by a sluice through here. And this will be by far the highest, biggest water wheel on the farm if I use it. But in any case, from here, I have the option, you see, and it's my plan, to bring the water from the water wheel in Hockling Gasthaus along this leat here, and then dropping it. That won't be as high a waterfall. In any case, this is called Renate Falls. And down there, I'm going to build a mill here. One of my sawmills will be here. I had thought it would be down there, but I rather think it might be just to the right of this. And a bandsaw mill. That way a water wheel can turn it. And here are the parts. There's parts of the neighbor's barn that burnt. If you followed the course, you know about that. There's my other sawmill. But the other sawmill can't be run by water power, really, because the blade has to go so fast if it's a circular sawmill. Well, we're going to go on down the tail race now. Don't let the fact that these walls look as if they're going to fall down, tumbling down. I only have them wired together. They're just pallets that are wired together. They're going to look just fine within a couple months. All right, here's the tail race to Renate Falls. And at this point it joins another leat, which I can, if I want to, go back and tap back into the natural stream bed. But in any case, I'm running it. It also is dead level. Now, right in here there's some ripples, because here it isn't quite right. But from there on, it's dead level all the way over to the Cooper's shop. And that's where we're going next. That's where we were. You see here there are no hydraulic jumps. This is level. That's where we're going, but I wanted to stop and explain that here's a feature that I do not fully understand yet. It's my son and I found an oil d'agua, an eye of water right here. It doesn't always run, but there must have once, well, there was something, either the outlet to a mine or else a well. We'll find it out sometimes. All right, on we go. That's where we were. This is the outlet to a drain from underneath the barn. It's been a steady problem for me that barn is not well drained. At this point, this leat, I go across an old foundation. There was an older barn sitting right here. That stone is part of its foundation. This is called Dana Falls, in honor of a friend of my daughter Erica's. And this was a real problem, and I still don't know exactly what it was, but it's not anymore. There'll be a Cooper shop, a double building with a water wheel in between. And what you're looking at is the head race. You know, just not ready to go yet, but here the water falls over a water wheel. It was an experiment that sort of failed. Andy and I tried to build a water wheel using only adhesive to fasten it, and it didn't really work. But when these buildings are done, or very soon, we'll be able to hoist that up out of the water, supported on the two walls, and then we'll work at it again. We'll have it turning soon, I'm sure. All right, this head race stops at another leat. This leat is dead level. If I block it up at both ends, it'll brim. But the problem down here is drainage. I guess if this leat had a name, I would call it Charles Leat, in honor of my father-in-law. Back at the natural course, there's a Charles Weir, but it's been in disrepair for probably 25 years, but I'll repair it. In any case, the water here could go in either direction because this is dead level, but you'll see, I think, that it is going in both directions. The other end must be open. but this is the main way. And we're gonna head out along there now. I should probably say something about this bridge, quote unquote. I need to repair that one. I used 8-inch blocks, did not work. They were too small, but these are 10-inch blocks. And it has been very successful. It's the slightest maintenance. Okay, the water is heading off past the blacksmith shop toward Elizabeth Falls. These 3 pipes are cores from a paper mill that you'd wrap paper on. You could buy them for the price of scrap, and you know, I don't think they're really as good as the concrete blocks, but they work as well, and I had them. Now, when you since my ditches are on perfect contours, they reveal archaeological features. Like here that's a stone from some former building that was revealed as I went across here. I certainly hope that my goats are going to eventually learn to go with me on these water walks, but I've only had them for 2 weeks and I'm still learning. See if they'll follow me. I think they will. They were just fed, so they're content right now. All right, we're going to go out here into the goat paddock or corral, and I usually don't think it's too good an idea to walk as I film. I've been told that so often, but I'm going to do it. And that's the fence that stopped me there, temporary fence. And this is this leat that now comes over to Elizabeth Falls. And here it meets water coming from Court Weir. And we're going to go there. Let's see, I could go on downstream here. No, I don't think I will. It meets an old spring house that drained, and right where Paige is, right there where Paige is, my dog, I think you can see her, it goes out and then eventually rejoins Oppenheimer Run. But we're gonna go this way. I should maybe explain that underneath this building will be probably the most powerful water wheel. Well, one of the most powerful water wheels I have on the property. And here's a head race that is been dry for quite a while because I'm not done working on that mill. There's a lot of water coming here. Now this water comes from a different set of weirs. The one weir called named after my father, Cortland Bernard Anderson. Court Weir. We'll see it in a moment. But I think I want to go upstream right here past Donna Falls. Now I know why I want to do this. I want to show you what's being revealed. In the spring, this always happens. These shards of pottery, because there were buildings here. There you can see that one. I usually pick them up and take them up the house, or else leave them where they are. Now this is the remains of a foundation of something that the animals use as a good place to cross. And that will be a bathhouse. All these buildings are less than 100 square feet, 8 by 12. And again, don't worry, they're all leaning now, but I'll fix them right up. And then Donna Falls will be right here. And it'll run a little water wheel. It'll come from up there. But at the moment, I'm letting the water down over there. Okay, I wanted to show you more of this pottery. It's so tempting to pick it up now, but in the spring with all this water, it gets washed clean. And it will tell a story. I'm careful. I did let some students once that were here take pieces, but they were so excited to see them. This isn't everywhere, but it's here where there were buildings. Visible again, it was Deserted Village of Conemaugh, I think is the name of the playlist in Frank's school. where I discuss this stuff more. All right, I think you can probably see this stuff. Some of it has a design on it, and I'll learn about that. It will say something about the people that were living here then. There's some that I put aside. But then it stops, all this, pretty soon, because I get out into an area that there wasn't cooking or a kitchen or whatever. All right, we're going to go on that way. Maybe I should explain that I dropped this from terrace to terrace. Like there's a drop structure there, there's a drop structure there, here's a drop structure. They don't all have names yet, they probably eventually will. Now this is a terrace, this is a leat, and it goes level past that Dawn Redwood tree. I have two Dawn Redwood trees, three on the farm, these two sort of together. And here is a drop structure, and it's worthy of a name. I'm beginning to think, what shall I call that? Got some ideas. And now, this would qualify as a dam, or a pond. My grandfather built it, and the outlet had been just a pipe, but I changed the outlet partly because I ran much more water through it, so the outlet's here now. And there, that falls, maybe you can see it. We're going to head over there gradually. This is covering the top of a pipe, about a 6-inch pipe, to keep floating stuff from going into it. And it was the original single outlet to the pond. We'll go down there and look at that. But this would be Court Leat. Court Weir is over there, and we'll go there. But right now I'm going to walk down. Again, sort of breaking the rules of filming. I'm walking as I'm filming, but you might learn more that way. I had a water wheel spinning here, and I could certainly again. There it is. All right, we're going to go that way. This is Court Weir. As you can see, most of the water's going on down Oppenheimer Run. Children for several years have come here and played, and basically just played in the water to maintain it. Children love water. I think everybody loves water. I'll probably give a link so you can see a video of those children playing here. We're going to go. This is a confluence. It's the property line, and that's Oppenheimer Run coming out of the neighbor's property. And this doesn't have a name yet. I think I called it the Withywindle, but I should probably give this run a name. It goes dry in the summer. It's not it's not considered a perennial stream, but Oppenheimer Run is. Ponds certainly are lovely. My son swims in this pond, some summers 2-3 times a day. That's the cherry tree house. Moved here from 70 miles away, and really quite a different story. The work that needs to be completed. The house where my mother was born. All right, there's Oppenheimer Run over there, the perennial stream going down through, and here's the stream that does go dry. We're going to go up this stream. This is Frank Weir. Feel funny having that name. I maybe change it sometime, but that's what I've thought of it for quite a long time. And I'll probably leave it the same. And I know why I did that, because that mill is over Jane Falls, my wife. And the main supply of water to that mill, or the whole supply of water to that mill, comes from this weir. So Frank and his wife Jane. All right, we're going to go down this just a little ways. We're almost done. And this was done by my grandfather, but not as a weir. He had the pond supplied by a pipe. Well, it was a weir, but it wasn't open. It was enclosed. And I changed that and recently brought it level until I made this drop structure. And this I call Molly Falls. There actually has never been a Molly here on the farm, but I love the name Molly, and there are 3 Mollies that I know of. I never met a Molly I didn't like. One of them is an archaeologist, and her ancestors lived in this village. Many of her ancestors lived in the village that was deserted here. She was my student in school at one point. Another Molly is a friend of mine, a Facebook friend of mine, and lovely girl. And the third Molly, and the one that made me decide I'm going to call this Molly Falls, is a girl that lives out in, woman that lives out in Minnesota now. I think I got that right, Minnesota. I get those states mixed up. And I only spent some time one evening in Iceland speaking with her. You can actually see her online. Because our plane was had to stop and we had to stay the night in Iceland, and I had the most lovely conversation with this Molly, who understood what I was doing. She studied forestry and hydrology at Yale, and it was such a memorable conversation to find somebody that spoke that kind of language and understood. So here at Molly Falls, maybe I'll step across it and then I'll end the water walk for today. I'll show you Molly Falls from across this little bridge. All right, I'm going to say bye for now. Paige and I are going home.